Hello YouTube, Dr. Sola coming to you from Asheshe in Ogun State. So, when you look at this, you think this is all we've done, right? Since the last time I did a video. But nope, we've done a little more. Let me see if I could. Yep, that's it. We've done a little more than that. So let me go back. All our cables, as you can see, are underneath there. And then our inverters, of course, are still there. I've added batteries, and we made a very interesting discovery, something we didn't think about before. We use a made box. So when the battery cables come, the battery cables don't have an end. They plug into a breaker, and then from inside the made box, the cable connection to the battery exists. Let me see if I can find what I'm trying to explain. So this is it. This is our battery cable, right? So this is the end that plugs into the inverter or battery. This end we don't have. The reason we never noticed it is because we always installed with a made box. Now we're installing without a made box, and that's missing. So we have to find the equivalent that will fit into either the battery or the inverter to plug in. So let me give you a little bit of technical stuff. So one other thing we discovered is here. We can only use 25 mm cables into our EPS parallel box. So each inverter is 25 mm. But our total supply back to the building is 70 mm. So each inverter will have 25 mm going into it, and then our output side, so load cable, they're telling us we use a 20 mm cable on the load cable and 20 mm on the what do you call it? And then for EPS, they're asking us to use smaller size cables. But if you recall my experience in Asheshe, the cables were way too big, and it caused us a problem where the terminals overheated because we couldn't properly solder them. So we're going to follow the instructions this time. Let me see if I can show you the instructions. So you can see our bus bars. Let me see if I take you so you can see the bus bars. See the bus bars, that's that. And then here is our first contactor for the grid. This is what switches between the grid and the inverter, which is this one. And then here's the second one. This is for the inverter itself, the inverter providing power. And then this bus bar here, our communication cables. Here our EPS, this is from our inverter. That's these bus bars here. So we now recognize something, and I didn't think about it. I don't know why I didn't notice it before. There is no input in that box. There is no input to charge the batteries. All the input is to switch between the solar and between the inverter and the grid or the generator. So now we're going to have to build our own bus bar with 250 amp, our own panel with 250 amp breakers, where everything terminates from. So let me go back. So each inverter will be connected to that bus bar. We're going to that panel box with the bus bars with our own total switch on and off. Let me see if I can show you, because it sounds a little confusing, but it really isn't. So here is our L1, L2, L3, and our neutral from this inverter. That's how it sees the grid, okay? Now we could do the switching automatically within here. But when we have this box will switch when it sees the grid. In order for this inverter to see the grid, we need to build our own panel box with 250 amp bus bars, and we'll connect each of these inverters to that bus bar. That panel box, the bus bar, so we'll connect to the L1, L2, L3, and our neutral. So we're going to build one today. So that's how we're going to connect the inverters to the grid. But EPS parallel box has a direct connection to the grid. It sees what comes in, and as soon as it sees it, it switches. If the inverter, if it's not present, once the grid goes, it switches back to the inverters. I hope that made sense. So this is hopefully the last time you're going to see this little work done. We're having to scramble to buy things last minute because We've never worked with this without using a mate box, and now we're doing it without a mate box. We're recognizing a lot of things that need to get done. So I'm debating maybe next time we'll put a mate box in. I'm really thinking we should. And on the 3-phase, there is no contactor, there is no switching. So who knows? We're learning a lot in the process. I hope you are learning a lot as well. Look at that mess of cable. So if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, please click the subscribe button. Once again, this is Dr. Sola coming to you from Asheshe in Ogun State.